Today's first page of notes is review of yesterday's combining like terms and distributive property. What I want you to do is to first try these 3 distributive property problems. Go ahead and press pause while you do your work. When you're ready, unpause it to check your work. I'll go through them quickly since it is review of yesterday's material. Go ahead and press pause now. The answer for number 1 should be 6x minus 8. We distribute the 2. 2 times 3x gives me 6x. Bring my subtraction down. 2 times 4 gives me 8. For number 2, when you distribute the fraction negative 2/5, negative 2/5 times 10y, we can use our calculator. Make sure you put your fraction in parentheses. Negative 2/5 times 10 is negative 4. Bring the y down with. And then do the same thing. Negative 2/5 in parentheses with your calculator times 25 gives you minus 10 for a final answer of negative 4y minus 10. And number 3 gives me a final answer of 24x squared minus 8x. I distribute the 4 to the 6x squared. 4 times 6 is 24. I keep the x squared. Bring down my subtraction. 4 times 2x is 4 times 2 is 8. Bring down the x. It's my final answer because these are not like terms. Same variable but different exponents. Moving on to our combining like terms section. In number 4, we simply have to combine any like terms. I don't have any parentheses. So this is the type of problem where I look through and I see I have an x squared term here and no other x squared terms. So I know I'm going to have just 2 x squareds. When I look for my other like terms, I see I have a positive 6x, a negative 8x, and a negative 4x. All of those are like terms with a variable of x, no exponent, or an exponent of 1. I combine those coefficients, which means I combine positive 6, minus 8, and minus 4. When I perform that calculation, 6 minus 8 is negative 2, minus 4 is negative 6. I get minus 6x. And lastly, I have my 2 constant terms, a positive 1 and a positive 8, which, when I combine, gives me a positive 9. No other terms are like terms, so I'm done. Problems like number 5 have parentheses, therefore we have to first distribute. Keep in mind I'm not distributing 2 here, I'm distributing negative 2. So the 6h I can only bring down for now. Then I'm going to distribute. Negative 2 times positive 4h is minus 8h. And then negative 2 times my negative 1, or negative 2 times 1, bring down my subtraction. Either way I have 2 negatives. That becomes a positive 2. Identifying our like terms here of 6h and minus 8h, I combine those to get a negative 2h plus 2. So the key in those problems, or any problem here where we see that we have parentheses, is to distribute first. Go ahead and finish the front page, come back and check your answers. So press pause now. Go ahead and check your answers. The key to number 6 is that you combine your like terms of negative 3b and positive 10b to get 7b. 7, 8, 9 were a little trickier. 7, you had to make sure you're distributing your negative sign here, or a negative 1. So that makes your positive 4x that was in the parentheses negative 4x, your plus 2 becomes a minus 2. Then you can combine your like terms. With number 8, the trick is that you're distributing a fraction. Make sure in your calculator when you're multiplying by fractions, you're putting that fraction in parentheses. And then we can combine our like terms. And in number 9, there's 2 things that I want you to pay close attention to. First is that when you multiply the 2x times 5x, the 2 times 5 gives you 10, but you also have x times x giving you x squared. The second, and this is equally important and very often missed by students, is that they forget to multiply the 2, 3, and x. Lots of times students will put this as minus 6 and forget to put an x here. You can't forget to bring that x over. It's extremely important. And then you see you have like terms when you're done with that. If you got these wrong and are struggling to figure out why, please go back and look at them. And if you still can't figure out why, see if someone in the classroom can help.